that which links all organisms on Earth. Biodiversity and the web of life. Extinction of species in the 20th century occurred at a rate that was 1,000 times higher than any time in the past 65 million years. Time to slam the brakes. The basil leaf is sacred, so is the mango leaf. The owl, the snake and elephant are all holy. In India, biodiversity has the blessings of the gods. 33% of plant species in the world are endemic to India. 44 species of animals are found nowhere else in the world. India, one of the world's 17th mega diverse country. A grave threat looms large over the world. Saving our biodiversity. The time to act is now. Across India, initiatives like India Business and Biodiversity Initiative are providing a bridge between businesses and biodiversity to create awareness and build capacities with the idea of keeping conservation at the heart of value chains. Launched on the occasion of International Day for Biological Diversity on 22nd May 2014 in New Delhi, IBBI is a business-led initiative having members from businesses of different sectors. It has an active advisory group with representatives from IBBI member companies, along with development organizations, NGOs and academia. It serves as a national platform for businesses and its stakeholders for dialogue, sharing and learning, ultimately leading to mainstreaming sustainable management of biodiversity into businesses. IBBI was initiated by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and supported by GIZ. IBBI is hosted by CII-ITC Center of Excellence for Sustainable Development. 3 successes illustrate the strides made by IBBI in its objective, while ITC Mysore shows how leading exporters of agro products can also write chapters in soil conservation. Another industry captain, Godrej Interior, is coding responsible forestry into its furniture-making business. DSCL Sugar, on the other hand, is challenging the notion that yields cannot be increased without harming a region's biodiversity. Mysore, a royal city, known the world over for its magnificent palace. On its foothills where art and culture once bloomed. A new chapter on sustainability is being written. One that makes a persuasive case for companies to link it to their agricultural value chains. The author of this eco-friendly script is ITC, India's largest exporter of agricultural products with a glowing track record of work on soil health and agroforestry.
ITC ಅವರ ಬಂಗಾರದ ದೆಡೆಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಶೀರ್ಷಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆರೆಯ ಹೂಳೆತ್ತುವ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮತ್ತು ಕೆರೆ ತೊಟ್ಟಿ ಕಟ್ಟುವ ಕೆಲಸ ಮತ್ತು ಜೈವ ಅಂತರ್ಜಲ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗಾಗಿ ಕೆರೆ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿ ಪಡಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಜನರು ಹೂಳೆತ್ತಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ತಮ್ಮ ಜಮೀನುಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಉತ್ತಮವಾದ ಬೆಳೆಯನ್ನು ಬೆಳೆದಿರ್ತಾರೆ.
To understand ITC's biodiversity risk assessments and risk mitigating initiatives, we need to travel to Ravandor Cascade, a place which showcases ITC's wider landscape approach and how it gels with the company's existing farm-level focus. ITC's Ravandor Cascade is a case study in sustainability. Most of its 2,200 hectares of area is agri-dependent. Post-risk and opportunity assessments, interventions for soil, water and biodiversity were worked out. Stakeholders, which include NGOs and the government, have devised interventions here with the help of technical institutions. Their chief objective, keeping community involvement in conservation efforts supreme.
ಈಗ ITC ಮತ್ತು ಮೈಕ್ಯಾಪ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಈ ರಾವಂದೂರು ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಕೇಡ್ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೋಗನಹಳ್ಳಿ ಆರನಹಳ್ಳಿ ನೀಲಂಗಾಲ ಎನ್ಸೆಟ್ಟಹಳ್ಳಿ ಮತ್ತು ದೊರೆಕೆರೆ ಇಂಥ ಗ್ರಾಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ 6 ಗ್ರಾಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಿಸರ ಸಮತೋಲನ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂದು ನಾಟಿ ತಳಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ನಶಿಸಿ ಹೋಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ನಮಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಿ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ರು. ಈಗೇನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ 30% ಸಸಿಗಳು ಇರಬೇಕು, ಸಸ್ಯರಾಶಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಆದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ 10.5% ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಸಿಗಳ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಇದೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಇನ್ನೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರಾಮಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಪ್ರತಿ ಎಕರೆಗೆ 10 ಗಿಡನಾರು ನಾಟಿ ತಳಿಗಳನ್ನ ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ಹಿಂದೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಲ್ದಣ್ಣು ಮರ, ಹುಣಸೆ ಮರ ಮತ್ತು ಅರಳಿ ಮರ ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮರಗಳಿದ್ದವು. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೇನಾಯ್ತು ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲ ಇತ್ತು. ಈಗ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನಶಿಸಿ ಹೋಗಿದೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಪುನಃ ಮರಳಿ ನಾವು ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು.
It is with this need in mind that ITC devised interventions which preserve the nation's rich biodiversity and ensure a sustainable future for communities residing in the company's sourcing areas like Ravandor. Those interventions are bearing fruit. Inputs to farmers on sustainable agriculture techniques that address physical, chemical and biological health of the soil have kept the soil fertile in this area. That process is helped by use of technologies like the check dams, which help control and reuse the fertile topsoil lost due to rainwater runoffs. Water in Ravandor is available round the year, a remarkable achievement in a country which is facing a growing water crisis. In fact, ITC's agri-businesses depend on natural capital, which includes not just land and biodiversity, but underground and surface water too. Meetings like these to discuss desilting of tanks see active participation because there is a rich payoff from the silt collected. Birds find their nesting grounds in Ravandor. A gentle nod to the success of ITC's Biodiversity Conservation Action Plan, beneficial to not just feathered friends, but which also ensure adequate livelihood and employment generation for local communities. The same tanks, which welcome exotic birds, also provide a key element to boost soil productivity. Silt. Informed of its uses through biodiversity committees like these, farmers have gained from this knowledge and inculcated a sense of ownership. They have also profited from planting of native species and field-based vegetation. As Ravandor looks to a bright future, it also signals that an industry and village economy can thrive while coexisting peacefully with nature by mainstreaming biodiversity. Something that would have surely pleased the enlightened men who once ruled the great city of Mysore. On way to Shriram near Pune, one passes magnificent water bodies, picture-perfect landscapes, and too often signs of man's lack of eco-awareness. But once at the destination, new lessons in green consciousness and sustainability can be learned from an 80-year-old veteran of the furniture business, Godrej Interior. The steady hum you hear is not just a busy assembly line pushing out the latest in office and home furniture or solutions for hospitals and healthcare establishments. It is doing all that while sticking to Godrej's motto of designing products, setting up processes and using raw materials that are eco-friendly and help preserve natural resources. Like for example, FSC certified raw material boards or E1 grade board, which indicate the low emission content of the raw material and benefits in conserving biodiversity by avoiding deforestation and habitat destruction.
We always use our FSC certified raw material boards or E1 grade boards, which tells us the low VOC emission contents of our raw materials.
Due to different initiatives of resource conservation and material optimization, the Godrej Interior plant has reduced specific material consumption by 42% in the last 3 years. Initiatives at plant level for energy reduction, water reduction, renewal of energy, zero water discharge have minimized pollution load on natural environment and biodiversity. The effort at sustainability doesn't end with procurement of the right wood. The panel construction is made of aluminium sections along with honeycomb panels. These honeycomb panels help in reducing material requirement by about 60%, thereby saving precious natural resources. At the same time, they give immense strength because of their interlocked hexagonal grid providing excellent compressive and flexure strength. The commitment to the environment goes beyond using eco-friendly inputs. It has resulted in Godrej Interior setting up less polluting and consuming processes, eco-friendly packaging and transportation, and finally, taking on the extended responsibility of recycling of used furniture and scrap, thus ensuring a life cycle approach to green. In its drive towards sustainability, Godrej Interior has crossed yet another milestone. All these initiatives at product and process levels has helped Godrej Interior get international sustainability certificates like BIFMA Level Green Card for their products. Currently, 34 products of the company carry green certifications and they already contribute 16% of the company's total revenue. Products which create your dream space even as they reduce the environment and biodiversity footprint. Proving once again why green makes business sense at Godrej Interior. We are at Ajbapur in Uttar Pradesh, the site of a major sugar mill. One that has managed to make a sweet turnaround to the familiar story of water-guzzling plantations, excessive use of pesticides and deteriorating quality of soil. The DSCL sugar story is in fact an inspiration to similar sugar mills across the country, which inspire to increase yields without harming the region's biodiversity. A survey in 2009 found that farmers used pesticides in excess, which caused such severe pollution that local birds had become scarce in the area. Sparrows and peacocks, which were common here, had almost disappeared. The underground water level in the area had fallen to such an extent that farmers were finding it difficult to tend their crops. That was 2009. 7 years later, DSCL Ajbapur was able to change course, and it all began with the Meetha Sona Pariyojana. The purpose of the project was to raise the socio-economic condition of farmers through dissemination of environmentally viable technologies. It was decided that lives of farmers can be improved only by a sustained recovery, which in turn depended on enhancing the yield and overall profit of the farmers through an integrated nutrient management and integrated pest management approach. It also showed the way to develop micro-entrepreneurs in rural India. The idea was to reach the smallest, most marginal farmer. Efforts were directed at capacity building of farmers, some of whom were chosen to take the lead by experts.
हर महीने ट्रेनिंग हॉल में जाते हैं, फैक्ट्री बुलाती है, हम सब लोग मिलके गांव के 5 लोग जाते हैं, गांव 5 किसान जाते हैं, हर किसान को बाकायदा बताते हैं किस समय कौन खेती में किस समय क्या करना है। इसके लिए हेल्थ कार्ड, सॉइल हेल्थ कार्ड मिला है मिट्टी जांच के लिए, तो उसमें जो है जैसा खाद, बीज, पानी सभी ट्रेनिंग हॉल में बताई जाती हैं।
इसके लिए हमने किसानों अपने रिसर्च सेंटर से साइंटिस्ट को बुलाया, अपनी यूनिवर्सिटी से साइंटिस्ट को हायर किया और क्लासरूम ट्रेनिंग की, साथ ही साथ फील्ड ट्रेनिंग कराई हमने किसानों की और उन्हें ये बताया कि हम कैसे पेस्टिसाइड का यूज़ कम कर सकते हैं। इसके लिए हमने उन्हें बायो कंट्रोल मेथड्स बताए, किसानों ने इनका भरपूर इस्तेमाल किया और स्थिति ये हुई कि आज जो 2009 में पेस्टिसाइड का यूज होता था वो ड्रास्टिकली बहुत मिनिमम हो चुका है। फार्मर बायोलॉजिकल कंट्रोल की तरफ चल दिया है।
Meetings like this are significant to the economy of Ajbapur. Sugarcane, after all, is critical to the cropping system of the Middle Command area. It has played a significant role in enriching the rural economy.
तो हम ये चाहते हैं कि गन्ने वो सट्टा जो है उसमें
It is in meetings like these where questions are asked and best practices taught that then help arrest the decline in factor productivity of crops, the shrinking of biodiversity, and reverse the over-exploitation of natural resources. Slowly, miraculously, Ajbapur was being transformed. The soil, which had deteriorated, started reaping profits. Yield per bigha doubled. What began with 2,000 lead farmers now had become a movement with 1.5 lakh tillers of the land engaged in the project.
आपके मैसेज भी आया होगा आपके मोबाइल पे हम लोगों ने।
Ultimately, adoption of proven technologies led to a sustained sugar recovery by focusing on improved varieties. But the biggest success of them all, the return of local biodiversity to Ajbapur.
पहले यहाँ पर पक्षी रह ही नहीं गए थे, पक्षी बहुत कम हो गए थे। अब बहुत पक्षी पैदा हो गए हैं, वो कीटों को खा जाते हैं, तो हमारी फसल बहुत अच्छी होती है। तो उसमें जो है दवा का प्रयोग बिल्कुल हम लोग नहीं करते हैं।
The IBBI initiative is not just about a handful of businesses who envisage a green future. As more companies come on board, the initiative signals a changing set of values. It is about a vision where growth is not in conflict with nature. It is about a growing body of industry who realize green businesses are a scalable proposition which are yielding long-term sustainable benefits.